Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and I want to thank you for coming to this teleseminar. You have given me your most precious asset, your time, and I promise you I will not waste your time. I'm going to give you, in the next 45 minutes, some of the greatest ideas I have ever found in business. I'm going to load you with ideas that you can use immediately to get better results in everything that you're doing, and then I'm going to show you how you can get even more of these ideas at an even deeper level that can affect your business in ways that you cannot imagine today. Now, over the years, I have personally built $9 million businesses. Some of them got to $20 million, $25 million, even $50 million in a variety of different industries. And what I've found is how to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing yourself. Now, I started off my life quite humbly. I did not graduate from high school. I worked at laboring jobs for years. When I couldn't get a laboring job, I got into sales, and I dragged around in sales, selling on straight commission, cold calling, door to door, if you know what that's like. And finally, I began asking, why is it that some people are more successful than others? Why is it that some people make more money than others? Why is it that we all start off at the starting line of life, like a great marathon, and none of us have any real skills or knowledge? Most of us have no money, and yet some people, over the course of the years, get way, way ahead, and the great majority stay in the middle. You know, the old 80-20 rule. And I began asking other people, especially in sales, why was one guy in my company making 10 times as much as anybody else, selling the same product out of the same office at the same price to the same people under the same competitive conditions? So I did something that changed my life, and it actually brought us here together today. Is I went to him and I asked him, I said, what are you doing differently from me? And he told me, and I did it, and my sales went up. And then I asked him, what else can you tell me? He said, well, have you read any books on sales? Well, no. I began reading books on sales voraciously, an hour, 2 hours a day. Have you listened to any audio programs? I didn't even know there were any. I began to listen to audio programs in every spare minute. Have you been to any seminars? I didn't even know there were sales seminars. I became a learning junkie. I learned and learned, and I did something that was really important to me, and if it's probably the great reason for success, is when I learned something new, I'd run out and I'd try it out immediately. And the first thing I found is that nothing works. At least nothing works the first time. It's sort of like riding a bicycle. If you can ride a bicycle, do you remember when you first rode a bicycle? What happened? It fell off. Did you lay there and cry, or did you get back up and try it again and try it again? And now you can ride a bicycle all day long. It's the same thing with sales skills or business skills. Is they're just skills, like riding a bicycle or like a recipe in the kitchen. Very easy to master if you just practice. So I went out and I tried every new idea over and over again until they started to work, and it literally transformed my life. And I'm going to share some of these ideas with you in the next few minutes, and they can transform your life as well. Now, over the last decade, I have worked with more than 1,000 entrepreneurs and business owners personally in 1 to 3 year intensive coaching workshops. And what I've done is I've worked with them to help them dramatically increase their results. My claim to fame was, I said, if you come to me and work with me once every 3 months for 2 to 3 years, that I'll show you how to double your income and double your time off within 12 months. And you know what my success rate was? About 99%. So I will show you how to double your income and double your time off as well by doing the things that really successful, effective people in every business do. Now, your goal, if you're watching this, should be to build a high-profit business. By the way, this teleseminar is not for everybody. This teleseminar is not for people looking for quick buck, easy money, get-rich-quick stuff, because I really don't believe in that. I believe that it's possible to get rich slowly and predictably and dependably over time, and then to hold on to the money and to have a wonderful life, but I don't believe you can do it quickly. Just like people say, learn a language in 10 days on the internet, or they say, lose 30 pounds of weight in 30 days. Well, if I said to you, look, I've got this fabulous system, it takes 2 days to activate, and you're going to be fabulously healthy, thin, fit, and full of energy for the rest of your life, you'd say you must be kidding. Well, it's the same thing. But your goal should be to achieve complete financial independence. Now, complete financial independence means that you never have to worry about money again. And that's what we'll talk about in our time together. Well, your business potential when you start off is very small. Most people start off and they make very little, but your business potential is probably 10 times what you're earning today. One of the exercises we do with our clients is we say put a 0 after your highest year's income. And you put a 0 there, and people say, whoa, that's 10 times as much. Yes, but is it possible for you to earn 10 times as much as you're earning today? The only way you can determine that is there anyone else in your world who is earning 10 times as much? Well, if there is, that means it's possible for you as well, because nobody's better than you and nobody's smarter than you. The only difference is what do you do to get there? And the answer is superior knowledge and skill. So 10 times may be a lot, so let's just set a goal for our time together to double your income in the next 12 months. What I do is at the beginning of each year, I resolve that this is going to be the best year of my life so far. And make the same decision yourself. Decide, this is going to be the best, highest earning year of my life, irrespective of the economy, irrespective of the industry, irrespective of anything. This is going to be my highest income year in my life so far. And then the only question you ask is, how? How do you make it the highest income year of your life? Now, one of the things we know is that 80% of self-made millionaires in America started and built their own businesses. 10% of self-made millionaires joined those new businesses early. Have you ever heard of Steve Ballmer? Steve Ballmer is the president of Microsoft. He joined Microsoft when it was a small company. Today he's worth $6.8 billion. He joined a successful company early. What this means is that 90% of all of your possibilities for financial attainment, for becoming a self-made millionaire, reside in starting and building your own business. Everything else, all the get-rich-quick, all of the show business stars, all of the stock market speculators, they all fall in the other 10%, and that's not very good odds. So we say 80% of these new businesses actually fail within 4 years. You heard that statistic. It doesn't mean that they actually go broke, although many of them do. Many of them, they just shut them down. They just give up. They just merge with someone else. They just go away because they just cannot make the business work. Now, what a great tragedy it is because all around them there are people in the same business making it work, and the reason they can't make it work is because they don't know what they're doing. So 90% of businesses started by people with businesses with business skills and experience actually succeed. So what they have found is if you know what you're doing, your success rate is about 90%. But if you don't know what you're doing, your failure rate is 80 to 90%. Pretty important. Now, here's the greatest discovery. This changed my life as a young person. All business skills are learnable. All sales skills are learnable. All marketing skills are learnable. All people skills, technology skills, internet skills, they're all learnable skills. If you can ride a bicycle, if you can drive a car, if you can use a modern cell phone, you can learn every skill you need to learn to achieve any financial goal you can set for yourself. Wow, this changed my life. This literally took me from rags to non-rags. Now, the problems with business today, I want you to imagine, I've had 1,000 clients who've come to me, and many of them have been very frustrated. But let's take a client like Bill or like yourself and see if these problems apply to you. The biggest problem that businesses have, number one reason for business failure today is low sales. Number one reason for business success is high sales. So the insufficient cash flow, low revenues are the biggest problem we have. Are you suffering from lower sales than you want today? Well, good, you've come to the right place. Ineffective marketing. That means you're not attracting enough prospects. When I started my first business, I kind of joke, when I started my first business, I learned to sell again. I sold my house, I sold my car, I sold my furniture, I sold every investment I'd accumulated in 15 years. I sold everything. I even had to borrow from my younger brothers. I even had to borrow against my car in order to stay alive because I didn't have the sales and all the marketing I did. I did mailings, I did billboards, I did radio, television, I did direct mail. I did everything you could imagine, even newspapers, and nothing worked until I began to study marketing. So if ineffective marketing is a problem with you, join the crowd. It's the number one problem in attracting new customers. Number three, ineffective sales systems is I would actually go out and see people and they wouldn't buy. I wasn't closing enough sales. People were always saying, well, let me think it over. Let me think it over. Leave it with me. Send me some information in the mail. I'll get back to you later. If you've heard this before, well, I finally learned that the reason was because I wasn't selling professionally. And I solved that pretty quickly. And many of my clients have come to me with the same challenge. Another that you might have is poor financial planning. We worry about money most of the time. You know that most people in business worry about money. They get up in the morning, think about money. All day long they think about money, and sometimes they lay awake at night thinking about money. And this is not a good way to live. And this is something that we can resolve, and we will very soon. Competition is another major problem that might have. It's more aggressive and it's more determined than ever before. Your competition gets up every morning thinking of ways to put you out of business if they possibly can. Another problem is a website is not generating the business you expected. You may have a great website, but somehow you do internet mailings and nothing happens. I once did a mailing to 800,000 names that I'd bought from a very highly selective list. I got 2 responses, and neither of them bought. You know what I'm talking about? Another challenge is customers are more demanding and disloyal today. They're more impatient than ever before. It's they want this and they want that and they want lower prices and they want better service and they don't want to pay for it. And not only that, they'll abandon you and walk across the street to save a little bit of money. And here's a great question. Is it going to get better or worse in the future? And it's going to get worse. It's going to get tougher. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going. There's difficulty finding and keeping good people in your business. Is that a problem for you? For years, my front office door was a revolving door. People came in and out and in and out and in and out. It's so hard to get good people. But you know something? You cannot grow your business unless you can find and keep good people. If you can't do that, your business has no future. If you can't solve any of these problems, by the way, you're going to join that 80% of people that go out of business. You have too much to do and too little time. You're swamped from morning to night. Some entrepreneurs working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, 7 days a week, and they do this for years, and they never get ahead. And then the worst of all is your life gets completely out of balance. You have not enough time for your family and friends. Interesting point is you started your business so that you could have greater freedom. Sometimes we joke and we say when you start your new business, you only have to work half time, and you can pick any 12-hour period that you like. So here's some interesting statistics from the Kauffman Foundation. 95% of business owners today take home less than $50,000 per year and retire with almost no savings. They work their whole life away and they retire with almost nothing. 70% of Americans today live from paycheck to paycheck. Most Americans, even high-earning Americans, are only 2 months away from homelessness. If their income was cut off, they wouldn't be able to make their mortgage payments. And this is not a great way to live. Dun & Bradstreet says that fully 90% of entrepreneurs that fail do so because of a lack of essential business knowledge and skills. In other words, they wouldn't have had to fail if they had known what they were doing. And most entrepreneurs get into business by default. In other words, they just are forced into it. They're out of a job. They're between jobs. They see an opportunity, and they don't realize that the easiest thing of all in America is getting into a business in the first place, but making it succeed is very hard. SCORE, the Society of Retired Executives, says that more than 70% of business failures could have been prevented if the business owner had sought out advice from experts. If they had just raised their hand and said, look, I need some advice, it would have transformed their lives, saved their business, saved their families, their homes, their cars, and maybe even saved years of hard work that they invested in their business and which was lost when their business shut down. So there are 10 requirements for business success. Let's go over them quickly and see how you're doing. Number 1, you need a proper product or service. This is something that people really want and need and pay for and buy again and again. And if your product or service doesn't do that, then you better get your product or service upgraded or changed so that it does. You need a proper marketing plan to attract new prospects. Not a hope and a wish and a prayer, but a plan that brings them in consistently. You need a proper sales plan to convert prospects to customers. Every single person that works in your business has got to be following the same playbook, if you like. They can't all be saying whatever falls out of their mouth when they talk to a customer. You need a proper production plan to create your products and services in a high-quality way. You need a proper distribution plan. You've got to get your products and services to your customers in a timely way so that they're happy and satisfied. You need a proper financial plan to acquire and manage money. And by the way, this is a learnable skill. You just simply think on paper, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. You need a proper pricing plan to maximize profits from sales, to raise or lower your prices so that you get the maximum profit possible from the highest volume of sales profit possible. You need a proper people plan to find, recruit, and hire the right people. And you need a proper technology plan to maximize internet sales. Finally, you need a proper personal plan to maximize your own productivity, so you're getting the very most out of every minute that you put in. Now, this sounds like a big list of stuff. Most people say, oh, this is far too hard for me. No, it's not, because what we have found is that everybody who's in the top 10% today started in the bottom 10%. And every one of these skills is a learnable skill. It's just like sort of cooking 10 dishes in the kitchen. You can't learn how to cook them all in one evening, but over time you could learn to cook 10 dishes absolutely brilliantly just by learning and practice and changing the ingredients and so on. Now here's a discovery. All successful businesses have 7 qualities in common. Small improvements in any one of these areas can lead to immediate increases in sales, cash flow, and profitability. And remember, anything that anyone else has done, you can do as well. There are no limits. So let's talk about these qualities, which are really the jelly in the jelly donut of this seminar. Number 1, become a great business person. What does this mean? It means that your business is a reflection of yourself. Your business on the outside is a reflection of the person you are on the inside. So here's the most amazing thing. As you go to work on yourself, investing in yourself, getting better at business skills in yourself, your whole business begins to improve on the outside. Your business only gets better when you get better. And you have a tremendous advantage. If you want to be in the top 20%, the bottom 80% aren't getting any better. So when you start to get better, you start to move ahead. It's like stepping on the accelerator of your own business. You start to move ahead. You have more sales. You have greater profits. You have more dependability and predictability and so on. Remember, the best businesses have the best people. The second best businesses have the second best people. The third best businesses are on their way out of business. Now, your most valuable asset is your ability to think better than your competition. This is the greatest asset you have, and you think with tools. And the tools are the business skills that you need to learn to become an excellent business person. Do you know that if a person takes an MBA at a university, say in mid-career, when they go back to work, their average job their payment will jump by about $50,000, and then they'll increase off of that. So it takes about a year or 2 years to drop out of the workforce, get an MBA. You go back in, you're worth $50,000 a year more. Why? It's because you have more thinking tools than your competition does. And that's what we give you as thinking tools. Is you can learn the key skills practiced by all business owners without going to university, simply by learning them through the books, tapes, courses, and seminars that we make available. So here's a question for you, and it's a question that we give to our clients. If you could wave a magic wand, what one skill would help you the most in your business right now? If you could wave a magic wand and be absolutely excellent at any business skill, which one skill right now would help you the most to double your income in the coming year? Now, whatever that skill is, and usually it'll pop into your mind, you write it down, you make a plan, and you start to work on it every day. Sometimes the development of one key skill can change your entire life for the rest of your career, because it will kick open doors of opportunity for you. It'll increase your income dramatically. It'll grow your business and profitability faster. But you've got to identify the one skill. Don't try to be good at everything. Focus on the one skill that can help you the most. And think about that as we talk about these ideas. Now, in creating a great business, what you do is you idealize your future vision. You imagine that your future business was perfect in every respect. You project forward 5 years into the future and imagine you could wave a magic wand and your business was perfect. If your business was perfect sometime in the future, what would it look like? And how would it be different from today? And especially, what would you have to do starting today to create your perfect business? What volume of sales would you have? What level of profitability would you have? What kind of income would you take home? What kind of people would you have working for you? What kind of customers would you have? Where would you be located if your business was perfect? When I do strategic planning for Fortune 1000 corporations, and the biggest strategic planning job I ever did was for a $72 billion company, first thing I ask them is, if this company was perfect in 5 years, what would it look like? And then we come back to the present, and we practice what is called back from the future thinking. And we say, then let's come back to the present from the future and say, what would we have to do today to create that perfect future 5 years from now? And that begins to lead us to actions we can take, steps we can take, things we can start doing and stop doing, and so on. And when you plan your perfect business, imagine that you have no limitations. Imagine that you have all the time and all the money and all the friends and all the contacts and all the experience and all the skills that you need. Imagine no limitations and just let your mind float freely. That's what all top people do, is they think about what's right before they worry about how they're going to make it happen. Now, to create a great business, you need 4 things. You need a complete business plan. You wouldn't think of driving across unknown territory with no roadmap. You wouldn't think of starting off on a business without a business plan. In fact, a complete business plan will save you $10 for every minute or dollar that you invest in the plan in getting business results. You need great products and services, you need great people at all levels, and you need to create a great customer experience so people buy from you over and over again. Now here's an interesting discovery, is that most of the people who are running great businesses today failed when they first started off. They didn't have a good plan, they didn't have good products, they didn't have good people, and they didn't have a good customer experience, but they were clear about where they were going and they worked on it all the time. So, quality number 3 in building a great business is for you to offer a great product or service. Now here's the discovery. 90% of business success is determined by having a great product or service to start with. Remember, you cannot sell a poor product. People say, well, my product is mediocre, but I'll find some clever, tricky advertising, sales methods, discounts, something to sell it. No, it's got to be a great product in the first place. And as I said, most products don't start off great, they become great over time. According to the Harvard Business School, your reputation is your most valuable asset. Not your finances, not your buildings, not your bank accounts, but what people say about you when you're not there. They define your reputation as how you are known to your customers. What do customers say about your product, your service, your company when you're not around? That's the most important and valuable and precious thing you have. And here is the key to business success. This is the jelly in the jelly donut. Everything comes to this and moves away from it like an axle, if you like, in a wheel. This is the center of the wheel and everything else is spokes. People say, this is a great product. The more often that people say, this is a great product, this is a great company, this is a great service, these are great people, the more often they say that, the more your success is guaranteed. So, how do you offer a great product or service? Number 1, deliver a benefit that people really want. How do you find out? You go to your customers and you ask them, what benefits do you really, really want from my product or service? And then you give it to them over and over again. You offer something that makes you stand out from your competition so that people have a choice between you and your competition, and there's no choice. My friend Jay Abraham calls this the strategy of preeminence, that you are the preeminent supplier of your product or service, and next to you, everything is secondary. How could you achieve that reputation in the minds of your prospects? And finally, deliver consistently on your promises. Whatever you promise to deliver as a benefit is make sure you deliver it every single time so that your customers become confident and even complacent in buying from you over and over again, and your competitors can never take them away. Consistency is one of the most valuable of all things that you have as a business owner. Now, number 4 is to develop a great marketing plan. Now this is really, really important. You cannot hide your light under a bushel, as they say. You've got to market. You've got to, in a very competitive world, you've got to attract a steady stream of qualified prospects. Wonderfully enough, marketing is a critical skill that you can learn. You can become absolutely excellent at marketing. You can find out exactly what it takes in terms of your advertising, your promotion, your offer to get people to raise their hand and want your product. A good marketing plan emphasizes your unique selling proposition. What is this? This is something about your product or service that makes it unique, different, superior, better than any other product or service in the same league. Every company has to have a USP a unique selling proposition. We help you, by the way, to identify your unique selling proposition, to make that the centerpiece of all of your marketing and advertising, and focus it like throwing a spear at your ideal customer market, so that more and more people who want what you offer that is special come to you over and over again. We want you to position yourself as the first and best choice in your customers' minds. So if a customer has to think about, who do I go for this product or service, they think about you first because you're the best choice. That's what a great marketing plan will do. So, clarify your competitive advantage. Ask yourself, what is it that you do that gives you an advantage over your competition? What is it that you offer that makes your product superior? Jack Welch once said, if you don't have competitive advantage, don't compete. Identify your area of excellence. What is it about your product or service that makes it excellent, superior in comparison with your competitors? And if you don't have a competitive advantage, you must quickly develop it. If you don't have an area of excellence, you must quickly develop it. It is impossible to survive in today's competitive market unless your customers recognize there's something about your offerings that make them better than anything else that's available. And it may be speed, and it may be quality, it may be suitability, it may be customer service, it may be support, it may be guarantees and warranties, it may be lower price, it may be price, it may be discounts. You've got to have something that makes yours better than anything else. So finally, in marketing, focus on your ideal customer and market segment. What does this mean? It means that marketing means that you have to identify your ideal customer. Who is the perfect customer for you? Who is the perfect customer that most appreciates the special value, the unique selling proposition that you have, and is willing to buy for it and pay for it sooner and faster than anybody else? And then you don't try to get everybody in the marketplace. You identify your target market, your target customer, and you focus all of your marketing and sales efforts on that person. Sometimes changing your focus. For example, in my coaching program, we had a woman in real estate. And in the brainstorming session that we put you through, she said she wanted to double her income. And one of the people at her table in another industry said, well, why don't you double the size of each sale? And she said, well, how could I do that? And then she started to think, well, she was focusing on selling homes that averaged about $180,000 each. But every so often, she sold a home in a better neighborhood that averaged about $350,000 each. She said, how could I reorient my business so I spend more time selling higher-priced homes? Within a year, she was selling primarily $350,000 homes, and she doubled her income with the same number of sales and the same amount of time spent because she redefined her ideal customer. Very, very important, and then you can do that as well. Now, quality number 5 is perfect a great sales process. This is something I drill home with Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies. A great sales process consistently converts prospects into customers. What's the difference between marketing and sales? Marketing is when people raise their hand and say, I'm interested in your offering. Sales is when you convert them to buy your product or service rather than that of someone else. So it's really important. And selling is a science. It's an art. The best companies have the best sales training and the best sales processes. I work with companies that if they find an interested prospect, they can guarantee a sale 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10 times because their sales process is so excellent. And you can always improve your sales process. Your sales process should eliminate objections that hold customers back from buying. You ever heard these words? I can't afford it. I don't have the money right now. I'm happy with my existing supplier. Could you call me back? Let me think it over. These are all objections that really good salespeople have heard, and they have answers to them. A good sales process enables you to close the sale and get payment. Close the sale and get payment. Sometimes people say, what are the key parts of selling? I say there's only 3. It is prospecting, presenting, and closing. There are 7 areas that we teach you in the program, but there's only 3. There are prospecting, presenting, and closing. And give yourself a grade of 1 to 10 in prospecting, presenting, and closing, and you'll know exactly where you're strong, exactly where you're weak, and exactly what you have to do to bring up your sales and improve the entire cash flow of your business. Remember, nothing happens until a sale takes place. The most important thing you do when you start a business is go out and get a customer and then get another customer. One of the things we teach is that if you're in business, your job is to ask people for money. The more people you ask for money, the more people are going to say yes when you ask for money. So every morning when you get up, you realize that everything else you do is secondary to asking people for money. And you ask them, and you ask them again, and you ask them in different ways, and you ask them repeatedly, and you ask more of them, but you ask people for money. Now, here's an exercise for you. I've done this with many corporations, and it literally doubles their sales. Write down on a piece of paper this question and then complete it. The question is, we could sell to every prospect we spoke to if they just didn't say ... and write down what they say not to buy. What are the reasons or objections that they give you not to buy today? And just write it down. If they just didn't say we can't afford it, they just didn't say they're happy with our competitor, they just didn't say they weren't in the market, they just didn't say they didn't have the money, if they just didn't say whatever it is, write them all down and then develop a bulletproof answer to each of those objections. I did this with a division of a Fortune 1000 company recently. They said they increased their sales, they doubled their sales in 30 days because instead of trying to sell more aggressively, they just simply removed the objections that most people had for not buying. In selling, practice what we call the power of no. Remember, the more no's you get, the more yeses you get. But most salespeople are terrified of no's. So what they do is they avoid talking to people who are most likely to say no, who just happen to be prospective customers. So what you do is you change your thinking and the thinking of your people so that they love to hear the word no. Because every no you get puts you one step closer to a yes. We say some will, some won't, so what? A next customer is waiting. Some will, some won't, so what? The next customer is waiting. So the faster you get through the no's, the faster you get through the yeses. The number one reason why businesses don't achieve their sales goals is they don't get enough no's. When you get enough no's, you're going to get more yeses than you can handle. And finally, in perfecting a great sales process, continually improve your selling skills. I'm doing work for a Fortune 500 company, and I asked them what their biggest problems were, and they just told me today. They said, our people don't continually improve their selling skills. They're not sharp enough. Abraham Lincoln was once gave this analogy. He said, if I had 4 hours to chop wood, I'd spend 2 of those hours sharpening my axe. And it's the same thing with you and your sales skills and the sales skills of your people. You've got to keep sharpening the axe. Now, number 6 is attract and keep great people. The rule is that the best companies have the best people. The number one reason for taking the job in any business, the manager. It's the person that interviews the prospective applicant, whether it's the manager or the business owner, is the person who causes a good person to take the job. What's the number one reason for staying at the job? It's the manager or business owner. What's the number one reason for leaving the job? It's the manager or the business owner. In other words, it's always you. The people who work with you on the outside are a reflection of the person you are on the inside. When I work with managers and business owners, I say never complain about your staff because you hired them. And if you didn't hire them, you're keeping them. And so therefore, they are a reflection of you. Now here's the good news. As you become a better manager, better business owner, better leader, you actually start to attract and keep better and better people. And that's the key. So as you go to work on yourself, as you study and learn how to hire, how to delegate, how to supervise, and how to fire people, you start to attract and keep more and more better people. So here's the 3 keys to attracting and keeping great people. Number 1 is think on paper. Describe the ideal person on paper. What I do is I take a pad of paper and I make a list. And I say, if I could get the perfect person for this job, what qualities or attributes would they have? And I write it down, write it down, write it down. I wrote this down for an executive I was looking for a few years ago. And about 3 or 4 days later, someone called out of the blue and said, I thought about your business and I'd like to work for you. Can we get together and talk? And so he came down and we spoke. I was going to give him 30 minutes. I gave him 3 hours. I hired him, put him to work for an entire year. He was fabulous. After about 2 weeks of him starting work, and he had skills and abilities I hadn't even thought about, I pulled out the list and I sat down with him. I said, here's my list. There were 42 things on the list and he had all 42 plus 3 more. So thinking on paper sets up a force field of energy in the universe that starts to attract into your life and business the person that you need. Thinking on paper clarifies your thinking and makes it much easier for you to interview and make good hiring decisions. Think on paper. Think on paper. Thinking on paper is one of the greatest success secrets if you want to become a self-made millionaire. Second rule is hire slow and fire fast. Take your time to hire people, interview them 2 or 3 times, have other people interview them, think about the decision for a while before you make it, and if you find that you've made the wrong decision, fire them quickly. Here's the rule. The first time to fire a person is the first time you think about it. The first time you start thinking about firing somebody, that's the time to let them go. And remember this great rule, good people are free. Let me repeat that. Good people are free. A good person contributes more to your bottom line in terms of savings, efficiency, effectiveness, doing the job, than they actually cost. So therefore, if you can get good people, you can pay them pretty much whatever you need to because good people are free. Poor people are very expensive, but good people are free. And every single self-made millionaire understands this, that the key is to get more good people because they all add an incremental profit to your business. If you had a person who adds $1,000 worth of value over and above their cost, you can hire 20 of them because then they contribute $20,000 to your bottom line. So all good companies recognize that good people are free. And number 7 is create a great customer experience. This is the linchpin in your business. What is a great customer experience? It's warm and friendly and personal. On the phone, whenever you contact them, what we call a moment of truth is when you meet with a person and you treat that person in such a way that they feel good about themselves. A great customer experience makes people happy to do business with you. Here's a question we ask. What percentage of people's thinking is emotional? What percentage is rational? And you know what the answer is? They're 100% emotional. The emotional feeling that you generate in people is the critical determinant of the entire future of your business. And you know where that emotional feeling comes from? It doesn't come from letters and from brochures and extra gifts. It comes from you. It comes from the people in your business that talk to and contact and thank and make that person feel happy. Emotions are only generated between people. And so therefore, at a level of a small business, you have the capacity to develop tremendous client loyalty. Another way to create a great customer experience is to give fast, effective responses to questions and complaints. Remember, customers' first question is this: do you care about me? Do you care about me? And if you care about me, then I care about you and your products and services. And when you give fast, effective responses to their concerns and complaints, they say, ha, this company cares about me. This company values me, and I'm going to go back there over and over again. So here are the keys to a great customer experience. Number 1 is meet customer expectations every time. So whatever the customer expects, and by the way, what many companies do is they go to their customers and they say, what do you expect from us? What do we have to do to make you happy? And then make sure whatever it is, you deliver it every single time, every time without failure. Now number 2 is you exceed expectations over and over. Meeting expectations keeps you in business, but exceeding expectations leads to business growth, greater customer loyalty, greater dedication, more referrals, and so on. Step number 3 is delight your customers. This starts to put you on the side of the angels. Keep thinking, what can we do to make our customers really happy? What could you add to what you're doing that causes them to brighten up and sparkle? And then amaze your customers. Do things your customers never expected you to do and that your competition doesn't do. Now, here's the final point, and this is one of the great breakthroughs in business in the last 25 years. It's based on years and years of research into successful businesses and their relationships with their customers. And it's called the ultimate question. And the ultimate question is, after a customer has done business with you, you ask them, would you recommend us to others? Would you recommend us to others? On a scale of 1 to 10, would you recommend us to others based on your experience with us? Now, the more 9 or 10 scores, which is called your customer response rate, the more scores you get of 9 or 10, the more likely it is they will come back and buy again and again and tell their friends. And the entire future of your business is going to be determined by how many people say, yes, I'm so happy with how you treated me, I will eagerly recommend you to my friends and relatives and everybody else. Now, so the 7 tips to building a high-profit business. Number 1 is become a great business person. And this is a never-ending task. Read, listen, learn, attend seminars, but never stop growing on the inside if you want your business to continue growing on the outside. Number 2 is create a great business. Have a great plan and write it down so you know exactly what you're doing at every stage. Every single business course, every book you ever read, every advisor or consultant you ever hire will tell you you've got to have a business plan. People say, oh yeah, no. And most businesses, the ones that are suffering, struggling, and going broke, are operating off the seat of their pants. They're making it up as they go along on a day-to-day basis. Fortunately, writing out a business plan is really like writing out a series of business goals and attaching numbers to them. They're actually formats that we provide. You just fill in the blanks and push a button and bang, you've got a business plan. And your likelihood of achieving your results goes up by 10 times, by 1,000%, by the very fact that you have a plan to start with. Offer a great product or service. Make sure that people say, wow, this is a great product. Develop a great marketing plan so you have a continuous stream of interested prospects calling you and coming in. 5, perfect a great sales process so that you continuously convert those prospects into customers. Attract and keep great people. Remember, the number of good people that you attract and keep will determine the growth and the profitability of your business. And number 7, create a great customer experience. Make people really happy they decided to do business with you. Now, what is the result of having all 7 of these ducks in a line, if you like? The answer is higher sales, consistent cash flow, and increased profitability. Now here's the flip side. If you don't have these 7, even if you're lacking 1, it's like lacking 1 axle on a rear wheel in a car. It's like lacking 1 engine or 1 drivetrain. If you're lacking any one of these, your business is in great danger. You will struggle hour after hour. You'll worry about money for years. You'll cost or lose yourself thousands and thousands of dollars. And ultimately, because your competitors will have these, you'll go broke and you'll have to start over from the beginning. So the cost of not having these ducks in a row is absolutely enormous. So how do you build a high-profit business? Well, this is very self-serving, and I'll tell you, you attend the Total Business Mastery program. In my program, you learn how to start, build, manage, or turn around any business. When I started teaching this program many years ago, Reader's Digest rated it as one of the top 3 business learning programs in America out of 800 programs. It's one of the best programs that you'll ever attend. It's based on the keys to success of more than 10,000 small and medium-sized businesses. In other words, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't learn it from scratch. All the answers have been found. You come to this program and we'll put them into your hand one at a time and we'll actually teach you how to use them. It'd be very much like going to a master chef. The chef doesn't lecture to you about cooking. The chef gets you right up there, as we do, and teaches you how to make these dishes yourself so you can go away with these recipes for the rest of your life. You can save yourself thousands of dollars and years of hard work in the Total Business Mastery program. And that's my promise to you. Now, who should attend this program? Well, this program is right for you if you're a business owner of all sizes. We've had business owners of billion-dollar companies and business owners of 1 person working off a kitchen table attend our seminars, and they say all the principles are so simple and so practical they apply to everyone. Entrepreneurs in all industries. We had an entrepreneur recently, great story. This guy began using my materials just 10 years ago when he was driving a truck. As he listened to the materials, he realized that if he had his own truck, he could make more money. So he used the financial planning part of our program. He got out of debt, bought his own truck. He made so much money, bought a second truck. Today he has 350 trucks and 1,000 employees and is one of the richest men in the country. And all from driving a truck 10 years ago. Professionals in all areas, doctors, lawyers, architects, engineers, professionals in every field learn how to dramatically increase their revenues. Business coaches and advisors. We have business coaches and advisors take our programs and then they take the ideas and they go and they sell them to their clients, and their clients pay them thousands of dollars in coaching fees to implement what we've taught the coaches in our seminars. And finally, internet marketers of all products and services. People think, well, I'm an internet marketer, I work at home. Yes, but you're running a business. Anybody who runs a business of any kind has got to have the 7 ducks in a row. Now, What will be the results or outcomes of coming to this program? Well, first of all, you learn how to identify the strengths and weaknesses and greatest opportunities for increased sales and profitability in your business. Clarity, clarity. You can't improve something if you don't know what's wrong. We say accurate diagnosis is half the cure. So you become absolutely clear about every part of your business, where you're strong and where you're weak and what you need to do immediately to get fast, predictable results. For 3 days in this program, we focus on every part of your business, helping you to make key decisions to improve every part of your operations. The business is done at round tables, where we put you together with other people at your level of business, and you all work on each other's business, carefully guided by me for the entire 3 days. By the time the first day is over, your mind will be spinning. You'll be so happy with this stuff. You learn how to think, act, and make decisions like the most successful business owners and entrepreneurs for the rest of your career. You come out of this at a whole new level in your business. You make a quantum leap in your understanding and knowledge of how to make your business more profitable. You emerge from this process with a complete business plan and budgeting process and business planning and budgeting program that you can use that gives you a track to run on for the next 12 to 18 months. It enables you to focus and concentrate and maximize your greatest advantages and opportunities. You develop a marketing plan to attract more and better prospects and a sales plan to convert more of them into loyal customers. People will often go out and the next day they're seeing financial results that blow them away. Many of our graduates say within 30 days they've doubled the size of their business, and they've been working on their business for 7 and 10 years. Some of the results we get are phenomenal. One of my clients went back and within 1 month it increased his personal income by $250,000 as a result of what he learned in this program. This stuff works like a darn. You learn how to hire the right people, you learn how to get rid of the wrong people, and you learn how to build a peak performance team of competent, capable people that drive your business forward. You learn how to create a customer service program that gets people to buy from you first rather than someone else, gets them to buy again, and gets them to bring their friends over and over again. You get the equivalent of a practical, street-smart MBA that equips you with the skills you need to build a high-profit business in any market. The same skills that successful entrepreneurs like Richard Branson use. And Branson was interviewed recently. He said, "How is it you have 200 different businesses?" He said, "The keys to business success are fairly simple." He said, "Once you have made one business successful, you can make any number of businesses successful by applying the same principles." So you'll actually learn how to become a serial entrepreneur. Build a successful business, turn it over to professional management, build another successful business, turn it over to professional management. Do you know what a difference that will make in your life? It's absolutely phenomenal. That's why I have several businesses now, and they're all profitable. Now, the personal benefit of the Total Business Mastery program is that your business generates steady, predictable sales, cash flow, and profits that allow you to relax and get your whole life back into balance. And this is the most important thing of all. Imagine have money just coming in steady, 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 like a faucet that's turned on. The money just pours into your business day after day. So you could even be away from your business for a couple of weeks or a month, as I am, and the business continues to make money. It's the most wonderful thing in the world to get your whole life back into balance. And finally, as I said at the beginning, you learn how to double your income and double your time off within 1 year or even sooner. Now, I have to read you something which I thought was really neat. I just got this yesterday. And I don't have my glasses on, so I kind of won't memorize it, but this is from one of the attendees of this program, the Total Business Mastery program. And it was to Michelle. He said, "You may not remember me, but I took Brian's program about 5 years ago." He said, "If you review my records, you'll see I bought all the CDs and many of the programs, and I use them. I was working for another company at the time, and I never thought of being an entrepreneur, even though the program is designed for entrepreneurs." He said, "I'll make a long story and a long journey short. I realize today that I'm exactly where I wanted to be in 5 years, and I attribute that 100% to Brian Tracy's program, and more importantly, to applying the principles he advocates." He said not only that, he started a small business empire out of his home. He said he has now people working for him all over the world, and last year he said, "I made $450,000 profit Many of the people who work for me I have never met or spoken to. He said, please thank Brian for me. This course and his principles changed my life. I have filing folders full of this type of letter, and I'll have a folder full of your letters in the future as well. So, what is included in the Total Business Mastery program? First of all, it's a 3-day intensive business boot camp with me and some of my key staff members working with you on your business and on yourself. It's a hands-on interactive workshop. It's not a lecture. This is hard work. Many people say I don't like all the hard work, but it is working. You're going to be busy the whole time. It's fast-moving and experiential. People are laughing the whole time because they are learning so much about how to improve their business. And what you learn is real-world skills and practical business methods that you can apply immediately to get better results. What else do you get? You achieve immediate improvements in personal and business performance, sometimes within 24 hours of the seminar. You'll work with other successful entrepreneurs, including millionaires and multimillionaires. In other words, you're going to be getting great input from very successful people, many of them previous graduates of mine, many of them people who have come up from nothing and made an enormous amount of money, and they have insights that are priceless. And you work with a mastermind group to improve every part of your business. What else do you get? Well, you get a 1-year unlimited access to a complete library of 250 internet-delivered video learning programs. What this means is that whenever you have a question, you want to negotiate a better deal, you want to save money, you want to hire somebody, fire somebody, supervise, manage, delegate, do a business plan, it's all there. There's programs on business growth, on management, on marketing, sales, sales management, time management, and personal success. So at your fingertip from now on, you have all the information you need, all the information your entire staff needs to be even more excellent at everything that you do. You get to work with and learn from other top business owners and entrepreneurs throughout this process. So, what else is included? You receive a complete business mastery action guide that you take away with you that you refer to again and again as you grow your business. As we said, you learn a lot and you take it all away with you. You go back to that guide over and over again, and every time you do, you'll learn ideas that will help you. So what would it take to get the equivalent knowledge? Well, 2 years at a university would cost you $50,000. At the University of Phoenix, if you went to 2 years and took an MBA, 95% of which is impractical, it'd cost you $15,000, $7,500 a year, and as much as 1,000 hours a year of dedication. My program, Brian Tracy's Total Business Mastery Program, is only $19.97. That's $1,997 per person. Now, the date is January 28th, 29th, 30th of 2011. The location is San Diego, California. The full tuition fee is $1,997, or 2 payments of $1,025 each. Plus, you can bring 1 additional guest at no extra charge. Which means that, wow, this is a great deal. So how do you register? You go to www.briantracy.com/register. That's it, www.briantracy.com/register to register for the program. Now, I've got something extra for you. We began teaching a program some years ago called How to Start, Build, Manage, or Turn Around Any Business. It's 16 hours of an audio program. It's 120 pages of cliff notes and bullet points. And if you register or enroll before December 22nd, we will give you this entire home study program, 16 hours, 120 pages, and we'll give it to you. And here it is right here. It's this program here, and it's all on a USB drive. You stick into your computer, pull it up, and you'll be able to start working on this program long before you get to the seminar. People have told us this program has been worth $100,000 to them. It's been the most popular selling program, home study program in the world on how to start, build, manage, or turn around any business. And this comes to you free if you enroll before December 22nd. It's a great program. Jesus, a great program. Okay, now there's a bonus. The first 5 people to register today will get automatically upgraded to a VIP membership. This means that you get private breakfast, private lunches, private meetings, special bonuses and deals with me and the other top people in the seminar. We normally charge $495 for the VIB program, and it's full. About half of the people who come to the seminar take it, and we'll give it to you if you're one of the first 5 people to register today. So get upgraded to VIP. Go to www.briantracy.com/register. And finally, the program is unconditionally guaranteed. Now, what does that mean? It means that if you're not delighted with this seminar or workshop, your tuition fees will be refunded in full at the end of the first day. You see, one of our rules, and I've made this rule for 30 years, is you should never pay for something unless you're really, really happy with it. We don't want you to be unhappy, so what we say is take the entire first day of the program. That's several hours of the best ideas and information and work that you'll ever experience. Many people say the first day changes their life. But take the program, and if you're not delighted for any reason, your tuition fees will be refunded, and there's no questions asked, because we want you to be happy. So here it is again. It's January 28, 29, 30th, 2011. It's here in San Diego, and when you enroll, you'll get all the information and details of where you go. The full tuition fee is $1,997, or 2 payments of $1,025 each, and you can bring 1 additional guest at no charge. And this guest, by the way, receives everything, all the workbooks, all the materials, all of the exercise, everything that you receive, the guest receives as a fully paid attendee at the seminar. And so click the Add to Cart button below right now, and please come to the seminar. Get the special bonuses, get the VIP bonuses, and come to the seminar. And I can promise you I will work with you personally for 3 days. I will show you some of the best ideas practiced by the most successful business owners in the world today. I will show you how to double your income and double your time off, sometimes in as little as 30 days. So the most important thing is this, is that the most important part of today is what you do afterwards. As we said, all successful people are action-oriented. Do it now. If you're going to take this seminar, do it now. Don't say, I'll think about it, or maybe I will, or I'll put it in the back burner, and so on. No, either come or don't come. Say yes or say no. All successful people are decisive, one way or the other. Whatever you do, if you come to the seminar, I promise you it will be the best business experience of your life. Every person who has ever been through this seminar says it is the most valuable and best business experience of my life. It's the most important thing I ever did, and so will you. Thank you for listening. God bless you. I'll see you in January.